I'm coming a little bit late to this one because I've purchased the other releases from Lee Mendelson Film Productions of the Charlie Brown Peanuts soundtracks that they've released. They put out You're Not Elected, Charlie Brown, and Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown, and It Was a Short Summer, Charlie Brown, and this, they might have put out more than that, but those are the ones that I have. And then this release, which is a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. This is the complete score from the 1973 special. This is on LP, CD, and digital. I'm going to talk about one of the LP versions right here that I got. And I've been loving these releases. They're so good. If you're a Charlie Brown fan, you really, really want to get these. They immediately, the second, in this case, the second you drop the needle down, or if you listen to it some other way, the second you push play, you're just transported into the world of those Charlie Brown specials. The music was so much a part, Vince Guaraldi's music was so much a part of the Charlie Brown specials that it's just kind of like living in one of those specials where you listen to this. As a person who likes soundtracks, I'm a huge James Bond fan. Driving a car, listening to a James Bond soundtrack, you feel like you're in a Bond movie. Listening to these, you feel like you're in the world of Charlie Brown, Charles Schultz, Peanuts, and it's just wonderful. So this was the 10th special. This is Snoopy cooking up Charlie Brown, inviting all his friends over for Thanksgiving dinner, and Snoopy preparing this giant meal of just junk food for the kids, and looking almost like the Mad Hatter's Tea Party when they all get together and have jelly beans and popcorn and sandwiches and things for Thanksgiving. It's a fun special, and the music really evokes that. This release sounds phenomenal. They go back to the master tapes on these, and they sound so good, and you really realize how good the music was in these specials. It wasn't just like something to hear in the background. It's like legit good music done by a legit great musician. And in this one, it's very like funky. Funky is the best word for it. It's very cool. Guaraldi brought in guys in San Francisco from the East Bay funk genre or movement that was going on at the time. He brought in some horns, which he hadn't used before, and it really has that kind of cool vibe to it and is a really solid listen, independent from the images that it referred to on screen. So you get a song called Little Birdie that's really interesting with a Vince Guaraldi vocal. He did a vocal on another one too called Joe Cool. And every time I hear Vince Guaraldi, I think of Bob DeRoe, who did the voice for some of the Schoolhouse Rock songs. Vaguely similar vibe to his voice, but it's really interesting to hear the voice of the guy who you predominantly know for those pieces of music that are so iconic from Charlie Brown Christmas and some of the other ones. I think Charlie Brown Christmas is obviously the most iconic of the scores, but each of these have their own little pieces that he created. He revives some of the themes from the other specials, but he always does something fresh with these. So, and speaking of which, Linus and Lucy is the piece of music you know. If you think you know music from any of the Charlie Brown specials, it's probably that piece of music. That appears throughout a lot of the specials, but he always does something a little bit different with it. And this one, it's this weird to say about a Charlie Brown special music, this kind of badass and funky version of Linus and Lucy is on this that's really cool. And it's probably the most recognizable recurring score piece that's on this Charlie Brown Thanksgiving soundtrack, but it's cool to hear because it's a piece of music you know so well, and to hear it done by the guy who originated it a little bit different. It's kind of fun. It like a lot of these releases, they include a little bit of studio chatter or count-ins before some of the takes, which is really cool to hear. It's like a little ear into that world, and it includes a really cool something that they happened to capture on tape that was never released before. Organ, bass, and drum jam at the end, which I don't think they ever would have had call to use it in the episode, but it's really cool that you can get a little ear. And that's what these releases really do too, between what they leave in as little bits of extras and alternate takes and bonus tracks, as well as the really deep dive liner notes. It really, you get a sense of what it was like for these guys to record these scores, or what it was like to be a fly on the wall while they were being made. And it's just, I'm the kind of guy that likes that kind of stuff. So anyway, let me reach down here and show you this release. This was, I don't know if it's still available or not. This was a Barnes & Noble exclusive variant. So you can get these black vinyl, colored vinyl, splatter vinyl. They do various, I think the ones I have are either colored or black. So I think I've got one that's brownish and one that might be greenish and one that's just regular standard black vinyl. But this is a picture disc actually. So the cover for all editions looks like that, front and back. And the covers are so cool. They're so simple. They don't mess with the stuff. They don't try to make them look modern or anything. It's just original art from the show. You get side A is 9 tracks, side B is 12 tracks. Side B has alternate mixes, bonus mixes, alternate takes, a bonus mix with whistling, and it's just really cool. They go down to like when it was recorded, August 2022 and September 4th, 1973, and the liner notes on these things are great too. So let me take out the disc and the liner notes and show you the liner notes first. This, they eventually wound up, this was an earlier release from Lee Mendelson Film Productions. As they go on, these liner notes expand to be even more in depth. But on one side, I love that they do this. You get stills from the cartoon, and then you get pictures of the session tape boxes. And if you look, it's like, it goes down to, I mean, it's really cool. If you're into the minutia of it, it's great. And then we have extensive liner notes about this stuff. They're doing a lot of 50th anniversary releases. So this was released a couple years ago, 50th anniversary release of Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. And that is written by Sean Mendelson. That gets really in depth as to the players, the style of music, how it was used in the show, what they found when they found the session tapes. It's like, it's great. So now the record itself, I'm a sucker for picture discs. I know some audiophiles don't like them. They say they don't sound as good. They say they sound bad. This sounded good to me on my system. My system is not a multi-$1,000 system, but it ain't half bad. And I thought it sounded pretty darn good. So, and I'm a sucker for stuff like this. So it's basically just the cover you see represented on side 1 and side 2. But that's side 1 and that's side 2. And I've been a sucker for picture discs since I was a kid. I picked up the Monkeys Monkey Business picture disc when I was a youth from Rhino, and I thought it was just the neatest thing to see a picture going around. You can play a picture. Picture discs are not new. They go back to I think the 30s or 40s probably, but it's just it's a gimmick, yes, but I think it's cool, and it's sometimes a little bit prettier than just a slab of black vinyl spinning around in your turntable. Anyway, available now on LP, CD, and digital from Lee Mendelson Film Productions is the excellent and really pretty funky soundtrack to A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.